Welcome to SimCity Society, and we're going to be transforming this mild-mannered urban city to a very dystopian society, huh?
Right, what we've started with is kind of what, at first glance appears to be your classic modern megatropolis. If you look closely in it, you're going to see off in the distance some state housing blocks. You're getting the feeling that this is kind of a little bit more maybe of a Soviet city than what you see at first glance. We've even got kind of a government center down here where we have ministries of thoughts and propaganda going out to condition our people, make them the productive members of society that we want them to be. At the opposite end of the city, we even have our cryogenic prisons. We're forcing our criminals into obedience. What we've developed here is a society where the goal is not to make people happy, but it's rather to make them work. So criminals are unhappy people. So we're going to rehabilitate them and force them into contentment. The secret police are going to come and drag them out into the workplaces, take them to the cryogenic prisons, freeze them for a while until they're ready to go back into the city and be productive members.
What makes societies around the world and throughout history kind of evolve is how they react and respond to problems. And the people in power at the time and their vision of the way their society should work. You go around this country and the way the police operate in LA is very different than the way the police operate in San Francisco or Seattle or Boston. And that kind of represents a social energy right there. An attitude of, we can correct this problem so it won't happen again, put more police out there. Criminals, you're going to spend some time in rehabilitation and to the point where you realize, well, I might as well just, go to work. But maybe you want to build something a little bit more peaceful, in which case you'd stay away from these types of buildings and build something using creativity or even devotion and create a society that's not as productive, but doesn't spend its life being reconditioned by the government.
So these elements you're talking about, those are the real fundamental building blocks of the game then?
The real fundamental building blocks are societal energies and a very sensible interaction that allows the whole system to function, which is the role of homes where your Sims live in and where you get your Sims from, workplaces where they're going to go and produce simoleons for you, and also take the social energy and convert it into something. For example, a gulag consumes obedience, and a gulag is a place that can round up 20 Sims and condition them. So workplaces may enable the gulag to function. And venues, which are facilities, often entertainment facilities, but also the gulag is actually a venue. Venues are the places you put down so that your workers will continue to go to work the next day.
The basic social energies are power, wealth, knowledge, creativity, devotion, and obedience. And basically they form a matrix that defines your society. So that you might say that the modern New York society is very much focused on wealth.
Clearly Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly, and has a lot of probably a lot of power as well going on. It's an industrial megalopolis. It might also have some creativity. I mean, you get a lot of museums in New York, places like that, and you have a lot of obedience in terms of a pretty strong police force.
Right.
You even have universities providing some knowledge. So kind of the modern city is in a lot of ways a very balanced city of different social energies going on. And then you can take that down and what we were building up with the Orwellian police state, which is a society that's very modern in a lot of ways, but we've forgone those museums, we've forgone the movie theaters. Instead, we are all about law enforcement. We're all about forcing the people to work, getting rid of the creativity and the artists in our society. We don't want anyone messing with what we tell them to believe in.
We can really play social engineer here.
Exactly. I could have built a city up where when my people started getting unhappy, instead of, beating them down and forcing them to go to the work, I could have provided them with movie theaters. I could have provided them with more shopping malls so they could go buy some big screen TVs and take them home and watch them at night, making them happier and more willing to go back to work in the morning.
A lot of the buildings that you put down based on the social energies will spawn what we call special Sims. And these are agents that walk around your city and influence the Sims that are living and working in your city. So if you were to put down a drama school, which is a workplace, mimes may come out and street performers and entertain people who pass by, making them happy. It so happens in Orwellian society, the men in black and the secret police will round up your artists and get them off the street. So you can have social conflict. In order for the cities to really feel different and to play different and to look different, there has to be something more than just labels. And a lot of the societies, such as the Well Society, has workplaces that the Sims have to go to work every day of the week. In the Devotion Society, they may have to go to work every day, 5 days a week for only 3 hours a day. So in a Well Society where you have to be at work every day of the week, your only way that you can maintain that level of intensity is to be able to go to a mall, like Matt was saying, and pick up something that can last you a couple weeks with a big happiness boost. And those big, powerful happiness modifiers come at a social energy cost. They require you to have developed a production of wealth. So the way that you mix and match those is very much up to you, but we give you goals and destinations to aim for.
It seems one of the key components to conveying that is dynamic environment, everything being dynamic. Dynamic environments, dynamic descriptions. Talk about how you want to interact with the player and let them know what's going on in their city.
Let's assume the player starts with a vanilla city, and we have generic music playing and traditional city building lighting that you would expect. And as you start to head down into certain archetypes, say the Orwellian, the sky begins to get darker.
Yeah, we noticed particularly dramatic changes in just the lighting effects.
Exactly, and that's just one of many. The objects on the street lamps themselves will change. Buildings, textures will change. Some buildings will have different props, such as the jail will get security cameras on it in the Orwellian society.
Lampposts becomes candy canes
in the happy
ultimate
society.
Happy land society.
And so we have these, the game is very non-judgmental. And it doesn't say that one society is better than the other. It allows you to kind of create that society, and we try and give you as much of that ambiance as we can. And also, like I just said, have the gameplay itself support that. Have the gameplay really feel different, because the hours your Sims are working and the way that you're addressing any problems in the city is very different from city to city.